Hello, everyone. Earl Henderson, Primordial Defense. Thank you for watching. I have another Monday quarterback video for you. I'm going to play the entirety of this video, and then I'll go back and talk about things that are going on to better explain some things, and then talk about things that I think that were done right and or done wrong. Without further ado, here we go.
Hey, how's it going?
Not bad. How are you?
Good. You don't have any weapons on you?
No.
122nd lane, large truck. Talk to you for a minute.
I'd rather not.
All right, come over here and talk to me.
Am I being detained?
Yeah, we're trying to figure out what's going on. We got a call and you match the description.
What do you mean? Come on, man. Let's not do this. Hey, please.
Stop.
Get over here. Can we talk? Over here. Oh, please.
Hey,
Please.
get over here.
Can we talk?
Get over here.
Oh, please.
Get over here. Don't do it.
Please, please.
Don't do it.
Oh,
I hear yelling. He's got a gun. He's running past me. Put your hands up now! Put your hands up! Put your hands up! Put your hands up! Stop! 12218, he's going in the backyard. Put your hands up! Hands up now! Drop the gun! Drop the gun! Drop the gun! Drop the gun now! Drop the gun! 213, subject's down. He still has a gun in his hands. 998. Drop the gun! 213, subject's down. He still has a gun.
Show me your hands!
Show us your hands, sir! We'll help you!
Show us your hands!
Show us your hands!
All right, let's get back into it. I have to say I generally like their way of doing this briefing. You don't have a public information officer standing there reading a script to you. You get to read it yourself. I don't know why. I just don't like the narrators in videos. I don't know. It's goofy, I guess, but I just like this layout a lot better. So this dude, it is obvious to me that this dude was up to no good. All right, 2 o'clock in the morning, he's going around to this person's front door. To my knowledge, they don't know each other. You can see this footage. He walks up. You see him looking up and around. He's checking for cameras. See that again. Hit replay. So yeah, he's searching. He's looking for cameras. He tries that door handle, and then boom, he locks eyes on that camera, and it freeze frames it right here. But I'd say he starts to walk away at this point. So just his behaviors alone tells me that he's up to no good.
Second lane, large truck. Talk to you for a minute.
I'd rather not.
All right, come over here and talk to me.
Am I being detained? Why, yes, fuckface, you are. His deceptive body language, his non-compliance, those are all red flags that this guy is going to be a problem. People who have done nothing wrong generally do not act like this. The only time that people who've really done nothing wrong that act like this, they're just assholes to begin with, and they're assholes who just generally dislike the police and want to be giving a hard time to the police. But for normal people who aren't assholes and dumbasses like that, who've done nothing wrong, they don't act like this. So this is a clear indication this guy has been up to nothing good.
Yeah, we're trying to figure out what's going on. We got a call and you match the description.
With his deceptive behaviors, his non-compliance. At this point, he's already on foot. He's following the guy. This officer, from this perspective, he could have gone ahead and done something like get his gun out for the event that something could be happening, or he could have chosen to go to his taser and have it out and ready to use at moment's notice if need be. Because behaviors like this, well, they sometimes tend to end up going physical and going to the ground.
Stop.
He avoids going down the sidewalk where the other officer would be able to more easily stop him. He bypasses him, tries to go around. You can see that he is getting ready for flight. He's hiking them pants up.
Get over here. Don't do it.
Please don't do it.
Oh. Don't do it.
Please don't do it.
Oh.
And you'll see in the next slide, well, maybe not this slide, but one of them here in a second. All right. So it says down here, Officer 2 observed suspect pull a gun from the front of his pants waist area and then attempts to detain the suspect by taking him to the ground. That, in my opinion, was not a good move. If you see a gun, if you see someone pulling a gun out, in this scenario, you don't tackle. All right, fuck that. You pull your gun out, and I think this officer took an extreme amount of risk by trying to tackle this guy with the gun. He could have very easily have gotten shot in the face by trying this. Very easily could have been shot in the face or shot anywhere else. Too much of a risky move. The safest thing to do would have been pull the gun. But he didn't have his gun out. And that's why I said earlier, while this dude's walking away and the other car's pulled up, that would have been the moment to say, hey, you know what, this guy, it's about to be a fight, something's about to happen, need to get some kind of tool out. So if he would have had his gun already in his hand, he could have very quickly got that gun into play. If he had decided to have the taser in his hand, then, he could have potentially deployed the taser. I wouldn't have, fully recommended that. But even if he did have the taser in his hand, he could have easily dropped it and just gone to his gun. But trying to tackle a person with a gun is not a good choice. So I was not a big fan of that. Now this guy, he was the first one on scene, made contact at the home where this dude had been playing around at. And the suspect, can't see it in the video, but after he gets tackled, he takes off and he starts running back towards this direction and goes in the bushes. So it's possible that once he got back up to his feet, he could see this flashlight beaming. So I would suspect that the suspect was getting back up or was in the midst of crossing the street, getting to the sidewalk from where he was, and he could see this flashlight beam and then decided to take the bushes because he goes in between these bushes over here. You can't see it on video because just the timing and the angles, but he makes it around him. So, I mean, they cross paths, basically. But I don't know. It's just a gut feeling. I think he went in between those bushes because he could see the flashlight bouncing as this officer was approaching. Or it could have just been that, the cops he was running from, he thought if he ditched through the bushes, that would throw them off. Maybe. I don't know. I tend to think he saw the flashlight meme and decided to duck through the bushes.
Put your hands up!
Nice freeze frame of him pointing the gun at the officer. Now, what's interesting is, we'll back this up some, is we got this freeze frame, both hands are up. If the anti-police crowd, were to ever, I guess, latch onto this incident, this would be the image that the media would be showing, and everyone would be showing, is him with his hands up. And they'd be saying, oh, the police shot him, he had his hands up, blah, 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 blah. You know I'm right. You know I'm right. This would not be the one they showed. It would be the one with his hands up.
Put your hands up!
All right. At this point, keeping his utility light out and on, I don't think is doing him any good. I think his utility light should have been put up, and he go to his weapon-mounted light. And by having his weapon-mounted light switched on, he would have been able to maintain a good two-handed grip and deliver more accurate, incapacitating rounds on target. Anytime you go to a one-handed grip, you decrease your accuracy. And when you decrease your accuracy like that, then you don't get good, effective, incapacitating rounds on target.
Hands up now! Drop the gun! Drop the gun! Drop the gun! Drop the gun now! Drop the gun!
So we see that the suspect is initially over here. He's still moving, still walking. And then he starts coming towards the officer some more before he finally goes down. The officer fires several rounds.
Drop the gun now!
Let's see if we can count them.
Drop the gun now! Drop the gun!
So he fires maybe 10 or 11 rounds. Then you hear the other officer, his gun fires as well. So he's expended quite a few rounds out of his gun in this gunfight.
213, subject's down. He still has a gun in his hands.
Now, we don't see much of any more past this point.
Subject's down. He still has a gun.
Show me your hands!
Show us your hands, sir! We'll help you!
Show us your hands!
Show us your hands!
So past that point, we don't get to see much of anything. Now, I'll back it up just a little bit to go over this Officer 2 perspective.
90.
So he's coming up, he's hearing gunshots being fired. He gets there, and the dude's still up, moving around with that gun in his hand.
990.
Then he fires. But we have an officer to his front over here. And if you went to almost any gun range in America, and you tried to to shoot like this, where you have someone a few feet in front of you, but you're down a little bit and you're still shooting the same target, people would lose their mind. They would go ape shit crazy that someone is forward of you while you're shooting. As long as you're not violating the cardinal rules, then it's safe. And this is the reality that exists, that we live in and can find ourselves in. Deadly force encounters are not going to be nice golf course shooting range conditions. Nice weather, nice sunlight, even target, even ground. Everyone's in a nice little line shooting. It's not going to happen. It's going to be like this. It's going to be at night. You're going to be on this freaking gravel stuff instead of a hard surface. There could be a friendly a little bit forward of you while you're shooting. That's reality. And if you're going to find yourself, or if there's the potential that you could find yourself in these type of situations, then you need to train for those situations. You should replicate this to some degree on the shooting range for training purposes. Well, there's a lot of people, they would lose their mind at the insinuation of this, and those are people who they don't train. They might get out and shoot. They might get out and plink. They might even do competition shooting. They might be really damn good shots, but they're not very actively engaged in real, true defensive firearms training. And when you get to that level of real, true defensive firearms training, you will see this in training drills. You will find a person forward of you while you're shooting. But then you're going to have some of these people chime in, like, we never did this shit at the police academy, blah, 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 blah. You're probably right. You probably didn't. And you are trained to a minimum standard. Minimum standard. So just because you at the police academy didn't do this doesn't mean that it's unsafe. So the reality of the matter is we can find ourselves in these kind of similar scenarios. There's the potential for that to exist. So we must train for those possibilities. And we need to have people on the range, not always in a nice cookie cutter line. Someone needs to step forward and be forwarded to other people. There's a lot of training value there. And it's, you could talk about it. I could talk about this and have a 24-hour block of time, spread out through a series of different videos and charts and diagrams and all this other stuff. And some people just not get it. They would not understand the concept of it, and they would still beat their chests and say that you're dangerous. You're breaking the 180 rule. No one should ever be forward of you while you're shooting. Blah 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 blah. There's nothing I can say that will let them see the light. But if you have taken it upon yourself to further yourself and go deeper into this martial art of gunfighting, then you'll understand exactly what I'm talking about.
Subjects down. He still has a gun.
Now, the video does cut short, so we don't get to see the full interaction, but what would be good is if one of them, especially this guy right here, like he should definitely call for cover. And, you know, he needs to say cover, and then the other officer would say covering. And that would be the time for him to do a magazine change. Put a fresh mag in that gun and get that gun ready to fight some more in the event this guy gets back up and starts fighting some more. So that's where team training comes into play, team tactics, doing drills where you do this kind of stuff. You interject some moving into it. You know, you get your target on the range, put some barrels out there, get some moving interjected into this training, and then second person gets involved in there. And then while you're moving around these barrels, both people could be firing so long as they have a clear line of sight to the target, clear line of fire. They're not violating the cardinal rules. You know, they're not muzzling each other. Anytime one comes near the muzzle goes up or goes down, finger off the trigger, etc. And then when it's clear, there's no obstructions, weapon back on target, engaging when need to, and then communicating to each other. Covering. You know, you could say reloading, but you know, there's some schools of thought against that because you don't want to advertise to the bad guy that you're out of bullets and that you're reloading. I get that, but in this kind of scenario, I don't see that being too bad. You know, they know with pretty good certainty that they're just dealing with one person. He's obviously on the ground. We can't see the extent of what kind of injuries he has because, one, the quality of the video, but two, they put the little blur screen over it. So their eyes, they should be able to see what's going on with him a lot better than what we would ever be able to see through the camera lens. So they would probably know better if it's, you know, easy enough for them to say, hey, I need to reload. And the other guy says, I got you covered. Go ahead. But something needs to be done to be worked out to where this guy gets a fresh mag in his gun just to be on the safe side, and vice versa. But like I said, we don't want to see what happens past this point. No idea what happens on the approach, if they even go cuff him or not. They don't include that part of the footage. The only thing they do is provide us this still image of them carting this guy away on a stretcher. And then it ends. So not much else to say about this video. This is a very short, simple one. Pretty easy. If you like what you hear and see, go ahead and give me a like and a share. If you have not already, go ahead and subscribe. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button and stay tuned for more Monday quarterback videos. Earl Henderson, Primordial Defense. Thank you for watching.